to today's business news. We're going to head, in fact, to San Francisco for that. The APEC forum is taking place. Could have been an opportunity, if you like, for Washington to flex its trade potential to its partners in the region. But Charles Pellegrin is on set to tell us why those partners, well, they might be a little bit disappointed. Is that right?
Yeah, well, before we get to that, as a reminder, APEC stands for Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, and the forum brings together 21 nations from that area. And the Biden administration had been set to unveil a draft of a new trade pact with the grouping called the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. But domestic political concerns have gotten in the way. Sherrod Brown, the Democratic senator from Ohio, called for the removal of all the trade components in that framework because it does not include enforceable labor standards. This in spite of the deal not actually offering trade access to its signatories. It would, however, set standards for business across some 40% of the world economy, including the U.S., Japan, and India. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen spoke to reporters after talks with the finance ministers from APEC.
In a number of areas that I think are critically important to the United States, like supply chains and the environment, sustainable finance, we've made a huge amount of progress, and we've made progress on trade too, but it appears not to be complete.
Moving on now, Foxconn, one of Apple's major suppliers, has posted a surprise 11% increase in third quarter profits. The Taiwanese company saw its results boosted by strong demand for consumer electronics ahead of the year-end holiday shopping season. The world's largest contract electronics maker also said it expects revenue for its smart consumer electronics division to fall slightly in the final quarter of the year. That division represents about half of its total revenue. Let's take a look at the stock markets now and how they're faring. That APEC summit and the scheduled meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping high on investors' concerns. And in the short term, at least, closer ties between the two countries is lifting sentiment. As you can see, the Nikkei in Tokyo closing up just under 0.5%. The Kospi in Seoul leading the gains up over 1.20%. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong trading flat. And in Europe at the open, we're seeing mixed trading as investors on the continent look ahead to third quarter GDP data for the Eurozone. The Paris CAC 40 opening up 0.1%. The FTSE in London down just short of 0.1%. Elsewhere, analysts polled by Argentina's central bank have raised their estimate for annual inflation this year to 185%, up from a previous estimate of 180%. The new forecast comes as the country is gearing up for a second round of voting in presidential elections on November 19th. The country's economy minister, Sergio Massa, is up against far-right libertarian TV personality Javier Milei, who has vowed to dollarize the economy and abolish the central bank. Eliza Herbert has a story.
Decades of debt, a volatile currency and rising inflation. For many Argentinians, these are the election issues impacting their day-to-day lives.
My motto is pay in installments now because later it'll be more expensive.
Prices don't match what really happens. That's to say, the price of a cookie can double in 1 month, but your salary doesn't double in the next month.
This is the backdrop for Sunday's election runoff between Economy Minister Sergio Massa and far-right political outsider Javier Milei. Argentina is South America's third largest economy, and yet 2/5 of the population are in poverty. The annual inflation, which is already in triple digits at 143%, is set to rise further, an estimated 11% in the next month alone. Javier Milei, who has described his opponent as representing a corrupt, parasitic, thieving political class, has vowed to take radical action if elected.
I know that I'm going to end the central bank because the central bank is the origin of inflation. It is the little machine.
He has also proposed to dollarize the economy. Massa, on the other hand, is focused on targeted tax cuts. He recently used his position as economy minister to expand income tax exemptions to all workers and push back fuel tax hikes in a bid to appeal to working-class woes. Despite a tenure in government marked by a surge in inflation, depreciating pesos and depletion of foreign currency reserves. For these shoppers, whose local minimum wage is around $380, the cost of living is sure to be on their minds as they go to vote.
And let's end with the next biggest collab in fashion after Pharrell Williams joined forces with Louis Vuitton. I'm talking about the new partnership between McDonald's and Crocs. The fast food giant is releasing custom-designed and Golden Arches-themed Crocs, notably some based on their mascots like the Hamburglar and Grimace. There'll also be small charms you can add to your Crocs in the shape of various McDonald's menu items like a Big Mac or McDonald's fries. You can see there, these are the Grimace-themed Crocs and socks that accompany it. And basically, the shoes will sell, Stuart, for between $70 and $75. So about 65 to 70 euros. Apparently, they're very comfortable. That's the main attraction.
What do you mean
Crocs,
apparently?
It's not aesthetics.
What do you mean apparently, Charles? You've got some on.
I will. I am not wearing Crocs. I will guarantee that.
Okay, we can guarantee that he will be wearing them by this time tomorrow. Okay, there's a challenge for you. Charles Pellegrin.